Yo, what is going on, people? Happy Tuesday. Welcome back to the stream. Happy to be here. Excited to go. Hope you're happy as well, and I hope you're having a great trading session so far. Um, can we just take a moment and just look at what's on the screen right now? Can we take a look at what happened yesterday with EA from that silly 5-minute entry that we were looking at, and how we said that maybe it would come back down here and retest structure low? Yeah, it did, and some. It's just what a crazy move. What a great read. We had it nailed. Had absolutely nailed. It maybe should have took this 15-minute candle, Maybe I shouldn't have been so focused. Maybe I should have just kept seeing the bigger picture, but hey, we're on it. We're seeing it great. We're reading it great. I'm happy to be back and get this day going. So let's just jump right into it. Let's not even waste time. Real quick. Oh, moving stuff in my OBS. Let's see where this is. All right, real quick. Bang bang. Let's just get this knocked out real quick. The disclaimer, of course, as always, that trading any financial market requires a high level of risk and may not be suitable for all investors. You should only trade with money you can afford to lose. Proper risk management is essential in trading all financial markets. If you do not have an understanding of proper risk management, trade management, all of the above, it would be best to educate yourself further before beginning to trade. The content I provide is for general information purposes only, a little bit of entertainment. I hope I entertain you, and should not be interpreted as advice, investment, or financial or otherwise. If you do choose to follow on any of my trade positions, please just know that you do so at your own risk. All right, that's like the worst part of my day with this every time. I hate doing that, but it's got to be done. So let's dive into this market. I know there was, if I remember correctly, there's a little bit of news right now. Yep, here it is. Dollar news, core retail sales looks good. Green. Looks good for a dollar. So that's happening right now. So let's jump into a dollar pair and see what's going on. Nothing. Nothing's really happening right now. EU moving lower, kind of off this area right here. Let's get out of here. Let's get on a higher time frame. I don't know why this isn't expanding all the way, but whatever. It is what it is. Here we go. So last week we made a high, kind of failing to break these highs, shove down, trying to come back and retest, but what we're really doing is kind of making like a lower high here. So it's starting to fall off a little bit. Yeah, you can see it's just almost like a head and shoulder. But I don't know, it could hold here. Because on a daily, you still have this target potentially. You are kind of failing to hit this target, but had a really nice, strong, bullish, engulfing candle yesterday. So let's see if we can get a little bit more momentum to the upside off of this. We'll watch it. We'll watch it closely. We won't get too biased to either way. I'm going to take this off because I'm not exactly sure just yet. Let's see how we're looking on ADR. Space either way. Right in the middle. Perfect. This thing's definitely in play. Let's just see how it plays out and see if we can find ourselves something. Right now, oops, 5 minutes. Right now, I don't have any clear. CJ, morning. Yeah, might have made 2R on that. Pockets, good morning. Good morning, guys. Pleasure to always see you guys in here. Thank you so much for always being here. Yeah, just a little bit on 2R. A little bit of 2R on EA. We'll measure it after we do this this analysis to get us going. So, same on AU. We're still clearly in an uptrend. Let's not get away from it. We still see potential targets to this daily 800, potential target to the high up here, somewhere around like maybe 28 or so, which is another like 60 pips. So there's still potential to the upside for this. But right now, oops, sorry, let's say on the same pair. I want to go down a time frame. But let's see how we're kind of getting above this as we had drawn, because yesterday we had this drawn in as like a level, and I'm not, it was extended from previously, so you can see we're getting so now you're getting momentum. Here you are right here on the 1 hour, which is going to be closing in 23 minutes. Starting to get a nice kind of breakout push as it's holding this kind of consolidation. So let's keep an eye on that and see how this starts to play out in the next 25 minutes or so. You can see kind of double bottoms. Definitely your first target would be like the highs, and we do like it to move higher. You're diverging here on the bottom, kind of bottomed out, made a lower, higher low here, and now you're creating structure. Now you just come back. Now you're in like kind of like a consolidation. Maybe the news is finally starting to kick in a little bit. It's driving AU a little higher. So let's keep an eye on this. Long, I like it. Yep, there we go. All right, EA, we already looked at. We're still going to stay to the downside with it, but let's give it a fair review. Always going to do this stream, man. Thank you, Pockets. I love it. I love talking to you guys. I love just showing my analysis, and it's just making me better. I just feel like I'm getting sharper and sharper and sharper. So I'm going to keep doing this. I love it. So here we go. Overall on a downtrend, just like AU, EA has a target to its daily 800 down here, which we still have marked. You're definitely on the hour, just like AU, EA. We're getting like a little bit of a breakout, but we still have over 20 minutes. So let's see that play out. Oh, this is a 4-hour, but that's also going to end in 20 minutes. An hour is a little bit of a different structure, but you can see it's still trying to create lows. So EA, I'm going to stay short bias. I want to see how it handles this low down here around 68. I want to see it like kind of, we're going to see if it can get break and retest, or at least maybe some type of consolidation at this level and then a bearish signal. So as we like AU higher, I like EA lower. EU, excuse me. We had said that we already did EU. So we're kind of still trying to stay with this uptrend, but it's a little bit indecisive right now. It's failing to break highs, so it's not as clean as AU. AUD has a lot of strength over the last few weeks and maybe almost a month now. AUD has had a lot of strength, so you would like to correlate AU to EU and say, yeah, maybe we see some momentum to the upside. Maybe we see a little bit of divergence here on the lower time frames, clearly, right here on the 1 minute, and it's starting to go for this full reset. So let's keep an eye on it. We'll stay a little bit bullish on it, but I'm unsure. It's not as clean to me. GJ, huge engulfing on a DXY. Let's jump to that real quick. Not quite seeing it yet. I have to see what you're saying. GJ, yesterday we were hot on GJ to go long, and it moved up. We were still saying here, look, see how it was holding support down at this level. Now it's driving off it. I like GJ long from what I see on the daily to try and come back into this area here. Let's extend this out a little bit. I like that. 4-hour. Came down, double bottomed, right? Like, and I don't touch the charts from yesterday, so these are all drawn from yesterday. Remember how we said it was kind of in this zone bouncing? Look at this. Clean double bottom from yesterday. Pushing up. It's a little sloppy in here with all these things, but you can see that you got this nice breakout here as it came up and made like a higher low and then drove, consolidated. So, and this was yesterday at 8 o'clock. It just wasn't as clean because we were still kind of in this downtrend, but you see the momentum just carried it higher. So, and then here later in the day, around 2 o'clock, it really just broke out. It was just a little bit of a choppy pair, as you could see. You could have got bumped out in here in the chop, and that's why I didn't want to trade it, because I liked what we were seeing, kind of like failing to get lower, but I couldn't find a really good entry. But today, now we want to see it do it again. As you can see, we're pushing off here on the 15-minute, trying to break back up to these highs. So let's see how that plays out. I like GJ long still. No, blue. All right. And GU to end things out. Again, consolidation, bullish engulfing yesterday to end the day. Kind of like a reverse, and now you're seeing the reverse. So highs up here, 78 potentially. We'll see how it looks on ADR. Came down, hold structure, kinda, not really consolidating that much. Just kind of getting right back at it. We're gonna get rid of this for now. Sorry, the tick is DX for the futures. Gotcha. Okay, now we're on the same page. Yeah, you could see kind of came up, a little bit of consolidation. Let's see if we could throw like kind of an engulfing and get up, but let's see what ADR is. Make sure we got the space looking like breaking out on a 5-minute here. I can see this breakout. This right here is the igniter, stop below the structure, and now we're getting the push. This was at 8:15. And like we're always saying, break out. You can see it's momentum breaking out of this structure, consolidates horizontally, kind of like a bull flag, and then more drive. So this has space on ADR, plenty, from what I'm seeing. 148. This thing's got gas, and we were saying 78, and this is 45 or something like that. I don't. I have to. I think it was 128.78. So this might be past our ADR, but that doesn't mean anything. This is 127.90 for this previous structure high here. We got space. Things look good today. Tuesday's usually a good day. I'm not going to get too crazy though and be like, Tuesday's my day, I'm going to win. I want to continue to do what we've been doing all week and all last week. Just stay really focused, stay sharp, read structure for structure, keep it simple, look for these breakouts, look for these retests. Let's get something, man, because I went back to the restaurant last night. I'll get a little personal with you. It's not for me, man. It's not for me. This is for me. I'm good at this. I excel at this. And now's the time, for everyone who's watching this too, man. Now's the time to really make your life what you want. And if it's trading, if it's, baking or whatever, arts, crafts, construction, welding, anything, whatever you're good at and you have a passion for, now's the time. Now's the time to get on that. Use the skill of trading to facilitate what you're trying to do with your life. Now's the time. And for me, restaurant's not for me, man. That it almost killed me last night. And I'm just like, I could have made $600 yesterday trading if I just took that EA trade. If I was trailing it, I could have made like 3 racks. Like this is a huge move. So it's right there. Now it's up to us just to seize it. We have the skills, we have the talent. It's time to get paid, man. Time to get paid. CD, what's going on, brother? Thank you. Thank you. Glad you feel the same way. Like I want to EA's just driving. Like I want to show you guys how I read the market and see if it resonates with you or see if it at least helps you in your trading plan and in the way that you read the market. But I also want to try and inspire you as far as just like from kind of like a mindset, like really like this trading can take us anywhere we want to go. And I think that what's going on in the world right now, it's time to take control of our lives, So let's look back yesterday at this little breakout that I just happened to ignore right here. And I think the entry was like 56. Excuse me, it was 65 on my chart, but we're going to put it right here. And it was like a 17 pip stop or something like that. So we'll even call it 20 for sake of argument. Okay, and why do I have a buy? It's not a buy, it's a sell. Short position. All right, so like this and like this. Now, obviously, you guys know that I'm clearing these trades out at 2R. And we know that in that first like 5-minute candle, it hit 2R. Like it ripped it. So as you can see me pulling it, you can see that that's 11R trade. That's a 22% gain for me now. Like I said, I would have been out at 4%. That's just the way I trade. But had I known, had a crystal ball that this was going to drop, that's 22%. And 22% of my account, it's a lot. You know, it's a good day. It's I can make my month. I could pay all my bills with that pretty much. So that's why it's important. Michael's in the chat. What's up, brother? Welcome, welcome. How you making out on your EU position? EU coming lower. And we had a 15-minute candle close, but again, I'm not really diving into market just yet. It's still early for me. It's only quarter to 9. I still want to wait a little bit. Maybe I'm missing moves because this market seems to be jumping right now. But I got to stay within myself. And there's no entry for me here. This is overextended. It's right at the low. I need to see the consolidation here. EA. Yeah, you're hitting a bottom right here. Definitely in a breakout on the 1 minute in the lower right hand portion of my screen. You can see how these EMAs are just kind of fanning out. So you're in like a breakout. Let's see if we can get a little bit of consolidation, maybe a little bit of pullback, and give us an entry and a probable reason to try and take this thing lower. Because right back here, this is like the Asia low on the 15-minute here. So when you come, you break out here in the Asia session. So this is the low, and this was the high. So kind of broke the highs, came back, now it's driving down to the low. So we want to break out of this Asia low as well. Done trading for today. Got to keep my mind right. First for a better trading day tomorrow. Hey, all you can do, man, just take it one day at a time. So as we were saying, nice little breakout here on AU off this kind of like double bottoms, making a higher low at the moment. We want to try and target this high first as potential retest because again, if it isn't an uptrend, and we've seen that it's overall in an uptrend, and yesterday it kind of changed its correction, and the downtrend was the correction. So now we're changing the correction back into overall trend for now, and we're making this structure. Came down for correction, makes a higher low off of this bottom, and now you want to come and see a higher high, which would indicate then it's going to continue higher. So the first target on this trade is somewhere around like 75. I can't get 2R off of this candle, and again, I don't want to trade just yet. But we see that this is clearly getting going. So keep an eye on it. Stay patient. Let's see if we can get a little bit of consolidation, maybe a little pullback, something to give us an idea that we're indeed going to keep running. I don't want to get into it just yet, though. And then EU is kind of pushing back to this low. Lots of these aren't huge pins, but you could see here on this last candle how price just came back down here, but the buyers pushed it back up. And now you're come back and you're testing this area. Let's see what we look like. Structurally, you're clearly divergent from these two bottoms here. Came down, made a low, failed to make a lower low, came lower than this structure, but not as low as this structure. So we're failing to break the lows at the moment. So from a structure standpoint, that's not a good indicator that we're coming lower yet. Now, again, 1 minute chart, super fast. So let's see what's happening if we can start building a case of confluence. Really, really overextended 5-minute candle. You're definitely going to see some pullback, maybe a little bit of consolidation on here. Looks probable to maybe come lower. Let's see if we can kind of see this consolidate. Again, we wanted to maybe see EU come higher. So maybe this is a deeper correction, or maybe it's actually just going to come lower and the strength is in AUD. Who knows? I'm not completely sure yet. I don't really have enough information built up to give me probable cause on the case for direction. So that might not be the cleanest today. GJ. GJ again, we're targeting up here for the highs. This failed to make a high, but at the moment it's trying to drive back up. So if this also fails to make a high here on GJ, and we've had like 3 hits to this area and it keeps showing failure and rejection, then maybe this thing isn't ready to come higher. Because you could be, like I said, just stuck in this little channel, up, down, up, down, up, down. Do like momentum to the upside. Had a lot of buying rejection the last from 2 days, from like Friday and Monday. Trying to see if we can get to the top of this candle would really be ideal, like 56. So like another 50 pips or so, 48 pips. But if it starts failing, then you might not get there. ADR on this thing all the way up at 137 flat, roughly. So another 80-ish, 90 pips. Maybe not, because you're here. So from the high a day, it's about 67-ish, depending on your broker, depending on your platform. But we're trying to drive back up to this area and see how it handles the highs. A little sloppy right now, but you can see it's starting to move up. So the question is, what looks the cleanest to us? Michael says, what do you think about area? If it keeps getting hits, do you think it's a strong zone or becoming a weak zone if it gets multiple times? I think structurally, if it keeps hitting this area but failing to create higher highs, then that shows me weakness, that there's not enough bullish momentum, and there's not enough buyers in the market, and sellers are keeping the price down. So it could just chop, and then it does break out higher. It doesn't necessarily mean that's going to just fall right off. But the more times it hits the zone and fails to make new highs in an uptrend, then that's not a good sign. So we're just going to have to wait and see. And we're kind of in this zone here as well, because we broke the bottom zone. So I'm going to clear out that bottom chart. And this isn't even actually correct, because right now you're here. You're kind of chopping between this zone higher. This was just the bigger zone from yesterday. But now you're kind of in this area here. So let's see how it plays out. Give it some time. Still early. Again, 9:30 is when the stock market opens. That's another 35 minutes. You are getting some early momentum, but it could just be, from the news. It could just be, inducing people. Things get a little funny at the change of sessions. Asia to London, London to New York, New York to Asia. Things get a little funny. Let's get some tunes going. Let's see. So how's everybody doing today? Is anybody getting themselves into any trades? Is anybody up on a day, down on the day, flat on a day? How's everybody feeling right now? Powell's talking in an hour, something that could really shake it up. Yeah, 10 o'clock. testimony. Certainly could. Yeah. That's why we gotta be slick, and we gotta try and also be right on direction. Definitely want to try and make sure we're in the right direction if we happen to be in a trade. So we'll see. Definitely flat so far. Waiting on AU continuation. Dig it. Down 5.5%. Right, yeah, I remember what you were saying, Michael. No worries. Annoyingly down 2% for CJ right now. That's all right. Right trade, wrong time. It's the hard part about intraday trading, man. Timing is everything. George, what's going on, bro? How are you, man? How you feeling today? Or is it Jorge? George? Jorge? Yeah, I like what AU's doing. Getting above these highs here, kind of using them as support and driving off. This isn't a bad candle, but again, the risk to reward just isn't quite there yet, and it's definitely divergent up here at this top. So we'll see. We'll see how it handles these highs. Definitely want to stay with the trend. Don't want to just ignore it. As you can see, like on a daily, we're definitely getting some momentum to try and come back and test these highs. So I still want to stay in that uptrend, but definitely want to be a little bit uh, aware of the divergence. But this on the hour looking sharp. I like this, just driving off of this structure. So could be an hour entry in 2 minutes. Something like a 30 something pip stop if you want to take like an hour position. Try and go for 70 right back at the previous highs from back here. You see what I'm saying? If it breaks this structure, then it's got to come and try to get to this structure. Looking sharp on the hour. I really like that. Let's see how everything else looks on the hour. EA on the hour is breaking down. Coming kind of back into this zone. I don't know if this is really all that relevant. But you can see how like it had these highs and now it came through, retest it. Sellers were still strong. Now you're kind of breaking back down. So let's see how we handle here. Looks good. Looks like it's trying to keep going. EU. EU could hold here on the hour. It could hold this 50. EU's a little tricky today. Might not be the pair today. I don't know how. I don't feel all that great about it. Looks like double top on EA. Let's see. From yesterday, double top. Yeah. And then you can see here on the 4-hour, you get a nice continuation. Still like EA to the downside. Maybe check these lows right here. And then if it's got the juice, maybe come back and test all the way back down here. 4-hour looks good. Candle's about to close. GJ on the hour, not the greatest on the hour. Not the greatest on a 4-hour either. So GJ not really in play for me at this moment. AU we discussed on the hour. It's pretty nice. Pretty nice, not bad. 4-hour on AU. A little bit weak, kind of an inside candle. Doesn't mean it can't go though. But not ready to jump on that yet. It looks nice on the hour. I do like this formation on the hour. Kind of getting right back up into the zone. See if we can find something on the lower time frame as this pulls back. Maybe get a little pullback. Kind of check these tops here at like 36-ish. Maybe see if we can come back and get a retest here for some support and then drive off because it cleared the zone. Now you want to retest this zone and see if it gives you bullish potential. GU looking kind of clean. 4 hour. Yeah, you would call that bullish engulfing here on this 4 hour. This candle kind of engulfs on the 1 hour. Yeah, kind of trying to break out. Not look terrible. I'm gonna wait for something a little bit cleaner. Like I said, same thing as AU. Clear the zone, come back and let me see it hold the zone. If it holds the zone and then maybe on like a lower time frame starts throwing me some bullish patterns and bullish signals, then maybe we get in this long. I'm not getting in up here. There's no point. You're in immediate drawdown, and this thing might even come all the way back. So let's stay focused. Let's stay sharp and wait for a really good continuation signal. Right now, I'm seeing GJ still kind of struggling at these highs for the moment. Looks like it's kind of breaking up. Now you're getting some consolidation. Do we see more bullish momentum to the upside off of this kind of breakout and hold and then more drive? Or is it going to kind of stall out? Because you can see here on an hour, it's kind of just like chopping, but it's definitely breaking out. So let's keep an eye on it. I mean, I think we have the right direction. On these pairs. I think now it's just about, like CJ said, it's just timing, right direction. It's easy. Direction's pretty much easy. It's can you find the right timing? I'm not sure about GJ. Dollar index. Dollar index on the lower time frames for now is definitely showing me some bullish momentum. As the dollar index pushes up, you're going to see those USD pairs kind of taper down a little bit. Now, I don't know that this is the immediate, move, but you can see you had a low here, and then you make a higher high. So it's like a lower low. Comes up, makes a higher high, failed yesterday, drove down, found support here, and now it's starting to kind of try and push back up. If we take it to the 4 hour, you can see here's your low, here's a higher high. Here, if this holds, then this is a higher low, and now you're going to start an uptrend. So let's definitely be aware of what this is presenting for us. You can see it's getting momentum to the upside because that's going to drive these pairs down. Like AU is going to drive down, EU is going to drive down, GU is going to start driving down. So let's take it slow. Still got 25 minutes for the stock market opens. As Pocket said, you got 10 o'clock testifying going on by the Fed. So I feel like we have a good idea of where we want to go, but want to try and get the most information that we can. Yeah, AU is definitely consolidating. And the same with EA. Kind of broke down. Like I said, let's see what happens when it hits this low. Does it consolidate and then find more sellers to drive it? Or is it going to kind of find a bottom here and hold out? To me, lower. I think it comes lower. Just by the way everything looks, I think you're coming to at least try and test here. That would be my opinion, because this was resistance and then this became support. It's driving through. I think it just needs to maybe shake itself out. Maybe see a little pullback, a little consolidation, something like that. I still want to stay short on this though. That's just my opinion. Now I could be wrong, but I'm just trying to read what the chart tells me and take it as a fact. Chart's telling me this is still coming lower. Breakdown, come back, retest, strong momentum. TDI looks solid. I want to stay short on it. Oh, AN? I see AN. You like that pair? I know you've. I see what you're looking at. Yeah, oof. But this is definitely, you can see how like this is kind of coming together. Major divergence here. and it's kind of like falling. So you might just find on this pair today, honestly, you might just find consolidation. You might not find a move. Not, I don't know everything, but to me, when you kind of have this going on as it's kind of like resetting itself, every EMAs are pulling itself together, and this is divergent. That's that might just chop because it creates like a squeeze. So I would just be very, very patient on that and make sure that you find yourself with a lot of confluence. Dollar index strong, looking real strong on this dollar index at the moment. Potentially going to come back here, check this level. If it breaks up like this and holds up, you're going to potentially see more momentum to the upside because this is like this again. Just try and see it the same way every time, you know, something like that. I just try and, if I consistently read it the same way every time, then I'm going to get good, consistent results. And to me, this looks like an ascending channel. Now, is it a corrective channel and it stalls and falls off? Or is it, I don't know. We're going to watch it though. And kind of use that as, you know, a way to help us find an entry. Yeah, EA off this divergence is just falling off. Yep, CD, exactly. DXY is strong at the moment, and the dollar pairs are falling in reaction to that strength. Now, see, if you had taken this AU breakout, you would be getting stopped if you're using this structure as an entry or this structure as an entry. You want to see a break and retest. That's fine to come back here. Now I want to see it maybe like consolidate and show me bullish momentum. But again, you do have this divergence here. You know, like this is kind of like the highest point on the TDI, and then it's like tapering off, and then that highest point correlates to this. So you can see you have some divergence. But you know, structure is still trying to make higher highs. So you could still potentially get it up to this area of like 75, as we said. And if you're in down here somewhere at like, you know, 25, or if you find an entry around 30, and that's potentially, you know, if you get around 30, that's 45 pips then to the top. Can you find like a 20-ish pip stop loss to go get that 40, get 2R in the way that I trade? That's how I look at it. Can I get this kind of a stop to get this kind of a reward, even if it's only to those highs? Yes, it's divergent. Doesn't mean it can't still test the highs before finding resistance and falling off or breaking the divergence. You know, this is only a 15-minute chart. You know, I don't want to ignore the divergence, but I also don't want to ignore, you know, structure. It's a balance. It's a dance. You know, you never lean too hard on any one piece of information, because if you do, then you're going to get biased. I'm trying to look at these higher time frames too to really keep myself like in a clean mindset of what I'm seeing. Trying not to look. See, maybe here, this level was support, pushed off it, but it didn't have enough. Drop through it, consolidate, comes up. Now it's back at this area that was support. Let's see if there's sellers in this market or if there's buyers in this market as we're reaching here. It's falling pretty good because we said the DXY is moving up pretty strong. But that doesn't, just because it's currently moving up, doesn't mean that's its direction for the day, you know? So let's just let these things play out. But right now, it's definitely getting some momentum. 5 minutes, 4.5 minutes till the candle close. I'm on about a 15-second delay from you guys, and DXY is looking strong. It's looking like it's got the juice, and that's what I was saying when I saw it here on these lower time frames, like the 5 minute. This is clearly buying potential, making higher highs, higher lows, holding structure, breaking structure. This thing's got some momentum. You want to keep that in mind. Yeah, whoo! Nasty. Pulling back strong on AU. And this is also, like I said, why I like to really just come into the market and let it open up, let it breathe. Like, yeah, oh, we're getting a lot of momentum. AU looks like it's breaking out, but like, all right, man, like let's just roll it back a little bit, you know, like let's not get too hype on it because things like this can happen. And what's this doing? If we're trusting structure, what's it doing? It's failing to get up towards these highs. So structurally, it's just failing. And again, this could also be like a reset. Look at these EMAs kind of starting to tuck together, kind of changing zones on this TDI off the divergence. EA pulling back. Little 2 candle here, but I don't like that. That's not the play for me on EU. Clearly, obviously, that's 2 to 1 on this candle, but that's not always something I like taking. Just the timing. It's right at 9 o'clock. Like, but you could see you'd probably get in for like, you know, maybe 15 or so. You're up about 20-ish, so you're over 1R on like this kind of. But that's just hindsight. I wouldn't. This didn't clear the zone, and I wouldn't have taken that position. That's not for me. But you can see maybe trying to come back into this area here, kind of where we were struggling yesterday. And then we finally popped out of it yesterday. And then by here, I was out of the session. I wasn't even trading it. And then it came in through this formation here, consolidated. There it is again. Like we say, when it's right, breaks up, it consolidated, breaks out again, sideways. And then at 2 o'clock, like on the other pair, found momentum. Something kind of shook it up at 2 o'clock. I still like EA short, but it's failing to make a new low. It's hitting the low, but it's failing at the moment. But I still like the way it looks. Now, if it starts fizzling and correcting off, then it's not going to look as good as it looks on this TDI in the moment. Because in the moment, to me, this says falling, through, under, falling. But it could just find, you know, support here at this bottom, and then the TDI won't look the same. So we need more candles. We need more information. But like we said, this was breaking out. So you're going to see some type of correction. And again, just like DXY, we read everything the same and we mark it the same every time so that we can get clear, you know. Hold on one second, guys. Sorry about that, guys. Um, so again, if we read it the same as we always do, and we draw consistent structure, then we're going to get consistent results. So this to me looks like a corrective ascending channel. Now, is it going to hold and drive back up for like a full reset because of what the DXY is doing? Don't know that yet. That's not my inclination just yet. But if this continues to correct this channel and break this channel, then maybe that's what's going to happen. You got the 15-minute candle close that just happened here. You know, this is a huge candle. You're going to see some correction. Where can we find support? Maybe in here, where it's at right now. Because you could see this was like an area, and then broke this area, came back. Now you're driving through it. Does it come back? I mean, that's not. It's only one touch, so it's not like super significant. I don't know that that really means anything to me. But if you're looking at this divergence that's built here, you know, um, you can see how it's like price just keeps falling. So okay, now you see it, you know, and this is equal to or lower, but this is higher. Okay, so there's definitely divergence all over the market today. We're seeing it on like so many pairs. Is it flying up? Yeah, full reset, like I said. It just completely broke the structure. So now you might see it come back down and retest structure before continuation, or it's just going to keep going. It's going to keep gassing. And that's probably got AU falling off. EU, clearly we saw was, yeah, driving back into this area. And now it's going to pull up a little bit and correct probably. But EA isn't controlled by the dollar. So let's keep that in mind. I'm also not ignoring this divergence that we just identified on it. It's at a low. If it's failing to break this low structurally, then, then that just means that there's buyers in the market. I still like EA to the downside. I still want to see it overall come back down to these lows, which are over like 200 pips away. Like that's my long-term play. Still like this 4-hour candle for the moment, but I like how it just comes down, comes up off this zone, drives off the zone. I like that. Maybe it pulls back even more. Maybe it pulls back to like 163 flat, somewhere in that area. Maybe comes back and kind of retests the bottom of the structure before continuation. Or maybe it just completely engulfs this candle and moves up, and that's the story. It's a little bit too confusing right now, and nothing's really telling me a clean story. What is this song? Wish I could get real music. Okay. Now again, we said that you were going to see these pairs kind of start to move back up into their trend a little bit, and GU definitely, technically, that's a GU is a new high a day, technically, but again, it's divergence. If this point here on the RSI is this point on price action, and this point is this point, well, that's a difference. You're telling me there's weakness in this, so might not be moving up. It might just be moving up as DXY is correcting itself to kind of test this area potentially. That's momentum to the upside. So we might see these USD pairs kind of fall off today. Bearish engulfing, kind of reversing. I don't know. As we're kind of starting to swap zones. And I like to do it on the TDI as well. Because it's price. So you can do it like that too. It's just channel. I don't know. It's nothing super clean as we're getting close to the stock market open, but things can change in a minute. Let's get a peek here on these higher time frames. Off the divergence. not really divergence, but just a failure to make. Couldn't make a like if you look at the 1 minute, same story every time. Pushes up, comes back, fails to make a high, consolidates back down, finds support, comes back up, can't even make a higher high. Breakout right here. There it is. Breaks the whole zone. There's your entry. Stop here. Full reset. Just like on any other time frame. It's all fractal, so read it the same, mark it the same. Here's your level right here, something like this. Failure to make a new high, pins to it, comes down, finds strength, barely can get up, and then this candle engulfs the zone, telling you that this is indeed a failure. Stop is something like 5-6 pips to go and get 18, 20, 2-3R. That's how you take a 1 minute. Same way you would take a 15-minute. But on a 15-minute, this would be like, you know, 60, 70, 80 pips depending on the pair. How do you use the channel when you make it? Like, what's your read on it? So here, let's go back to DXY and I'll show you. So we drew this channel. So what you're looking for price to do, because you could see it hits it, hits it, hits it, hits it. So you're creating contact points. So you draw the contact points. So now what you want to see is you want to see price make a breakout either to the upside or the downside. Come back, find support in this case because it broke to the upside. Find support at a level here and then continue up. That's how I use the channel. Now, if it drives back into the channel, then it's just choppy. It's uncertain. Doesn't know what it's doing. But what I never often take a first breakout like that. Like I wouldn't put a buy here and then a stop down here. That's just not how I would do it. I would look for the breakout, retest, and then more bullish signals of continuation in trend. That's how I look at it, and I would find that on a lower time frame. And you can see here on the 5-minute, or excuse me, on the 1 minute, potentially you were in this consolidation. See how the EMAs are all tight, price is all tight, everything's kind of in this little range, and now you broke up. And now EMAs are starting to flare up. I would want to see it come back and create a support zone and then continue the momentum to the upside. And then the same on a 5-minute. Buying potential, creating higher highs, higher lows. This is a higher high, so you want to see it come back, find an area of support, maybe in here, somewhere like that. Makes sense, where it broke out from. Come back and retest the zone, see if the buyers are still in the market, come back to at least retest the highs, if not make a higher high and continue its structure. That's how I would do it. Absolutely. It's just a channel, and you're just looking for the same patterns, but this kind of contains the candles. And when it breaks out, now you have, okay, maybe I have potential to the upside. Let me see it come back and support. For me, it's a lot of breaks and retest support. That's really how I try and find things. Ascending channels, descending channels, horizontal channels, because when price is contained in that consolidation and then it pumps out to the upside or to the downside, and it's like, okay, that's momentum. And that's how we kind of saw it yesterday at EA when we were looking on the 5-minute. We had that little 5-minute horizontal channel kind of drawn out. It was right in here because we were feeling fairly confident that this was from the higher time frames. So I always use the higher time frames and then break it down, because if it's going to happen on the higher time frame, it has to happen on the smaller time frame first, because that it builds the 1 minute to the 5-minute to the 15-minute candle. So if you can understand where you are in the higher time frames, then you could come in on the lower time frames and really get yourself a significant tight stop loss. But as we were saying yesterday, we were like, yeah, we're looking for a break, consolidation, and then a breakout. And that's how we had this kind of level drawn yesterday, like this horizontal level, as price had kind of broken into this channel like this. And I wasn't so sure about this. I got a little bit too caught up in my box and not the momentum of how this was pushing off. But even if I had taken this entry 5 minutes later and then put the stop up here, it still would have been good, because it still would have fit the parameters for the overall move that I had in mind to structure low. And there would have been enough space to get there. I was looking here, structure low, kind of around the 800. And it did. It broke, then consolidated for, like 2 hours or more, and then finally made the push, and it broke structure low. Came back and roughly tested around structure low. So it was break, retest, and then it still had more momentum. Right now, it's kind of just, I don't know what it's doing right now. It's obviously it's pulling back and correcting, but 1, 2, 3. It's kind of, these are weak. I don't know what's going on here. Again, I still like it to come lower. Oh, Anytime. If you guys have questions, please feel free. Like throw them in the chat. Like I'm here to try and help you the best I can and show you how. I hate when it does this. I gotta like leave it real quick. Yeah, if you have questions, you know, this is the way that I've traded, like I'm, kind of learning to trade after, 4 years of different strategies and lots of videos and, stuff like that. Like I'm really just trying to take the best of everything that I've learned and create like my ultimate system and to really support, retest, resistance, key levels, breakout candles, 2, 3 candle formations, momentum candles, igniting candles, if you want to call them that. Everybody has a different name for them. EA is the only pair I'm looking at right now. Everything else is a little whack. 100%. I would have to agree with that. I do like EA still based on that 4-hour candle. Still looks like there's a lot of momentum to the downside on this break and retest, just like every other time frame. Nice bearish engulfing, almost an igniting candle. Not sure how far back it's going to pull back, but I still potentially like it to the downside if I can get more bearish confirmation candles on an hour, a 30-minute, a 15-minute, a 5-minute. You know, everything else definitely looks a little whack, like you were saying. Even something like this on the 5-minute. And here we are, here, exactly. Let me show you here on the 1-minute. You know, what's it doing now? As we had this drawn, kind of broke down. It kind of broke out of it. So let's see if we could find, like maybe you say this is the candle that ignites it. Kind of like broke out, but I don't always like taking 1-minute entries. That's not my thing. The lowest that I take a 1-minute entry if it's a specific type of pattern. But I'd rather take like a 5, something with a little bit more confirmation. But I like on the left side of the screen here on the 15-minute, I like how it's kind of throwing this seller's rejection, sellers pushing the market back down. You can see now on the 1-minute here how we're definitely starting to get it again. So maybe we take it at the top of the structure, try and get back down to the low. The low here is like 22 pips. I would probably take something like a 15 pip stop maybe, but again, I don't want to take it off the 1-minute. 5 minutes made a low. If it's going to indeed reject, you would think that it would have to come back and retest this low and then move off it, if not come lower. So I still like it to come back down. 1 more minute to the 30-minute close, and maybe I could take a peek at this 30-minute candle, get an idea of what it's doing. Yeah, I still like it short, man. ECAD this morning, though. Yeah, what did it do? Momentum candle is a candle that, like we said here on like the DXY, like kind of like this candle was like momentum. Like momentum candle is a candle that creates the continuation of the trend. It's a strong candle that breaks out and gives you, you know, creates the momentum of continuation of the trend. Yeah, see, this is still, because now, like, I don't know about this. I don't know how far the correction is on this pair. You can see we're getting a little bit sideways. I still want to stay short bias, but again, direction potentially easy, but timing is hard, and I'm not really sure yet. Like I want to say, yeah, like let me get in this, and kind of come back and try and retest this low, but I'm not sure yet. I don't know if this is the candle on this 1-minute. I don't know if that's the one. Looks like it is to me. Break down, consolidates, not really breaking back up, but I don't know yet. Not sure, because this market's being a little funny. It's not super clean, but we do still like it to the downside. But again, how far back is the correction on this? Is the correction over yet? Short bias, yeah, I think it could pull back. Yeah. I'm not sure how far. Again, timing. Yeah, it still looks good on this hour here on the left side of my screen. Like, I like how that's, but and with a candle like this, you're gonna see some type of kind of like consolidation and a little bit of like chopping out. I want to stay with it. I like it to maybe come down, like we said, this structure low. Broke through this level here. I don't know. I don't know how far the correction is. I guess that's why a lot of people try to use fibs. Because they go, oh, came back to the point 0625. Like I don't know how to use fibs. This this might be ready to go. I might be willing to take a shot at this on EA. Let me see. Let me see. Just out of curiosity, let me get myself ready. Now, see, now it's like wicking right back up. We got a lot of buyers in it. See how it closes. Still got 6 seconds. I would probably take it. Because if it's failing to break that high, maybe I'll take it at like 90. It would be like a 13 pip stop. Whew. I would probably take it at like 95. So like 78 to 95, 78, 88. 78. It's like 17. Doesn't look right yet. Still not looking quite right yet. Yeah, you gotta be patient. I don't want to get aggressive, especially on a 1 minute. I don't want to get aggressive on that. Because again, if this thing just pulls back up here, I would definitely, if I was gonna get in, I would definitely have to get above this high. Because right here, it's failing on the 1 minute. Like if we're trying to read structure, comes up, makes a high, comes back, fails to make a high. Okay. Now, is it gonna try again? It looks like it from the TDI. It looks like it's kind of holding this trend line, but again, the bias is short, so and it's failing. So if this breaks out and breaks down like this, then I might consider like, all right, let me try and get myself in, and then I might be a little bit cautious, move my stops. Like I'd be a little bit more cautious. But you can see it's failing at this moment, and now we're moving sideways. But if this creates like a strong bullish candle and hits this high up here at like 93, 94, then I'm like, all right, this thing's probably kicking up a little bit. But if it was to break out strong to the downside, then I would say that the sellers are still in this market. But this is still kind of correcting sideways. It could just leave pins like it's been doing, pins up, pins down. I don't know. Let's bounce around the market real quick. Finding some support here on AU potentially on the 5 minute at the stationary 50 and also at the 1 minute. DXY is back to our ascending channel. So let's see if this looks more probable to come higher just by how everything's looking like it has buying potential in it. Stock market's just opening now, 5 minutes ago. EA, see, yeah, EA's starting to kind of push up. Let's see how it handles. If it fails again at this high and I start seeing like rejection, but right now I'm not seeing rejection. it's breaking up out of this zone. See how it's this little zone and how kind of like broke the highs? You might see it come a little higher right now. Let's keep an eye on it. Let's look around. GJ falling hard. Just tried to push up and said, nah, we're going back down. So the market's a little indecisive today. Everything looks like it's kind of at like a reset-ish type of thing, consolidation more or less. GU breaking down off the divergence. EU, same. Try for like, see, I don't want to go against this. See, because now the question is, what is the trend? You're like, I like it to the downside. I want to see it come lower, but is the trend over the last couple of days up? So if you look back here from like the 8th, it's in an uptrend. Is this a correction before more continuation to the upside? So is the trend not down? I mean, overall, we know that, from way back here, it's been in a downtrend, but now is it kind of bottoming out and starting to create higher highs and higher lows, and this is just a higher low consolidating? See what I mean? Low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low than this low. Is this going to just hold and then move higher? Is the trend actually up? It's where it gets a little bit tricky. Like, it looks great and you want to stay short biased on it, but is it actually in a downtrend? Is this just a correction? And now maybe the correction's ending. I don't know. GJ finding support. Could be. This is a lower low at the moment on like the 1 minute. Hitting this bottom right here on the 5 minute, on the 15 minute, back in this kind of structure. Very, very tricky today. I think it's going to require a lot of patience. And if you do pull the trigger, you got to make sure you really, really. And I still, just based on the TDI, EA is still looking probable to the downside. Let's see here. I hate when it does this. Why does it do this all the time to me? Yeah, see how we're see here. This looks like it's going up. Broke above, retest, momentum candle. Michael, if you're still here, if this closes in 12 seconds through this zone, this is a momentum candle. You might see more upside. See how it's holding, breaking up, trying to at least. Nah, see, sellers are still in here. That's why it's choppy. This couldn't break this high, not yet. It's definitely, it's trying to get higher. You can see it. Has to break this high first. If it fails to break this high, then this might be the end of the correction potentially. But again, a 1 minute's so tricky. I don't want to get overly biased on that. But you can see here also on the 5 minute in the upper right hand portion of my screen how you kind of like finding this consolidation. Now if you can get a nice bearish candle to kind of come down and engulf this whole zone, it might be worth a short entry. See pins here on the 1 minute. Not sure yet. GJ. Funny day today. I feel like AU could be finding support. Not sure yet though. I'm gonna stay hot on EA is the cleanest, so I think I'm just gonna stay focused on EA. You may have called AU with the pullback and consolidation. We'll see how to differentiate between momentum candle and a breakout candle. Puppy, I'm streaming. It's typically it's the same. Breakout candle typically is a momentum candle. It's breaking out, creating the momentum. So typically they're the same. Um, yeah, see, again, I don't like getting overly stuck in to the 1 minute because it's just way too fast and anything can happen. But you can see it keeps trying to get a little bit higher. It's not really breaking these highs. It's kind of getting to this high and failing. And if I would put my stop above it, above this top structure. If indeed you got a really strong candle like push through, 5 minutes in line to potentially show it too. This could be, it could get going here potentially. I like how it's holding. Again, 2.5 minutes. Show me a candle that engulfs this open. You know what I mean? Show me a breakdown and I'm in. I think I'm in at that point. Stop above the pins with my spread. But if it doesn't show it, then I'm not going to go. That's how I would like to see it. I think in my mind that makes the most sense because it's really having a hard time, and you can see it on the 15-minute too. It's not a bad candle on the 1 minute. I'm gonna wait another 2 minutes and see how that 5 minute closes. See if it does exactly what I'm saying. If it throws that momentum and engulfs this whole kind of same as yesterday. Here, hold on. Sorry, I'm bouncing around a lot of screens. So you came up as a correction, and now you have kind of this right here. Show me a breakout. Breakout. You know what I mean? Get through this trend line on the TDI, then I'm in. Because this still has plenty of space on ADR. ADR is all the way down here. Doesn't have to go all that way. You know, could just retest this lows. But if it gives me a probable reason to take the trade, then that's all I can ask for. So we're going to keep an eye on it. As you can see on the 1 minute, that was rejecting this high, and now it's starting to drive down. 5 minutes starting to do the same. It's gonna be right at the buzzer with this thing. I know it is. In 40 seconds, it's gonna be extremely close. Like I said, if it's through the trend line, I'm gonna consider it because I feel like I'm getting momentum. My stop would be like 95. My entry would be like 76. I would probably take like 90 maybe as a stop loss. So that's like I notice it's going to be right at it. I'm short. My stop is at my entry is 74. My stop is at 90. It's like a 16 pip stop. So I'm going for 32. So from 74 minus 32, I need to get down to 42. So I need to get to 16242. I'm short EA. I'm instantly in profit at the moment. Entry is 74. Stop is at 90. That's where I'm in at. And I'm going to see how it holds this low. It's through the trend line on my TDI. This feels like it's a breakout candle. Now let's see if it's got the juice. Let's see. Yeah, let's see how this thing goes. Gonna pay close attention to it if it starts failing at the bottom here. But like I said, I'm instantly in profit. I'm up like 7 already, but I need 32 though. And this looks promising. Like I said, we're gonna see what happens as we hit these lows down here. See if it continues with strength, or if it starts rejecting, not making like a lower low. So I'm going to be very cautious. And if it looks like this isn't to play, then I'm not going to take a full loss. I'm going to get out of it. But I like that 5-minute candle. I like it's just like yesterday. I like how it, now maybe I should have a little bit of a higher stop just because of my spread. Like if it wants to come back, but it in my opinion, I don't know that it should come back. What's my spread on EA? 3. I think I have a good enough stop. And I like this candle. See how it's like it's kind of like pushing off through the trend line. Could hold. It certainly could hold. And reject. And on the 1 minute, it would look like it failed to make a lower low. But again, we're feeling confident on this much higher time frames, like this hour. Oops. We're feeling confident that we're in the right move. We like the continuation. That could be the end of the correction. I'm looking for a target of 42. That's how I'm playing it. I got 2% risk. Yeah. So we'll see if we can get 2R out of it. That's all I can do is take good entries. I feel like I took a pretty good one. Was patient, trying to stay with the direction. Let's see what happens. AU looking like it's trying to come up as well. Dollar index. Not really too focused on a dollar index. We'll see. 40 seconds on this 5-minute close. I'd like to see it bearish. If it closed bearish, I feel good about it. If it closes a doji, I might be a little skeptical. Staying with the trend. That's all I can do. I'm still in profit. It's pretty decent close. I don't know. Still got a lot of time left. I don't want to see it break above like 78 on a 1 minute here. If it's a break and retest, I'd like to see it come back to this bottom here because it broke out of this bottom structure. I'd like to see it at least test the structure and then push off it. If it starts breaking above it, I got to get out. Nah. So it's failing to make a lower low here on the 1 minute. It's finding like rejection at it. But again, I'm looking to see this area hold here. I don't want to see it break above that. I'm going to stay with the trend, stay with the sellers, see if they're still in the market, if they haven't taken all their profits. Okay, I got my finger on the trigger to get out of this trade if it breaks above it, so I'm not taking a full 2%. I'm right at like break even, slight profit. It's just chopping at it. Getting towards the 10 o'clock hour with the testifying coming up. So it'd be like it's like 4 pips, like a loss for me if it breaks above this 4 or 5 pips. I'll get right out. I don't want to see it break above. I want to see it, break, retest, and then more continuation to the downside. Come on, see if we can break for a new low. This is a little bit of a tricky area. I can feel it. Man, I'm up a little bit, 5, 6 pips. Another bearish candle on a 5 minute. Still struggling to break the lows right now. 5 minutes left on the 15-minute candle. It's kind of looking like it still should push down a little bit based on what the structure's telling me. I really don't need a lot, especially for this pair, but again, if it's failing to make new lows, then it's just not right. That's all it comes down to. But I like how it came up and now it's trying to push back down off of this breakout area here on the 1 minute. I like all this. This looks promising. Um, so again, if the trade starts breaking down and not giving you what we're seeing now, if it starts to say like, hey, I'm not breaking the low, I'm starting to come higher, just get out. Don't take your full hit. There's no reason to. But at the moment, it's starting to give more momentum. I'm up. I'm up like 9. I need 32. So I need 20 more pips from where I'm at. Did anybody come along for this one? Anybody like what I was seeing, like what I was saying? Now we're getting some gas now at the end of this candle. Woo! Come on. I need 16 more pips. Come on. Here we go. Come on. Nice. Breaking the low on the 1 minute. Got 3 minutes left on this candle closure, so anything can happen. But so far we're getting some good momentum. And I like what we're seeing. Pocket, you were late. That's all right, man. Let's see how this plays out in the next 2.5 minutes. I need 16 more pips to my target. I'd love to get out of this quickly. As always, I like to get in and out of these trades. Um, what do you think about the candles so far away from the 8 EMA? You know what, man? It just depends how you like to trade. You know, everybody's got their own opinions on how you should trade, but to me, it's just structure. Break and retest, break and retest. I don't care where it is. If you give me a clean break and retest, then and a good probable entry, then I'm going to take it. Now I'm getting some pullback now, a little bit, as we got a minute and a half left in this candle. So I want to see where this candle closes. I like that the 1 minute kind of broke the low. It is a little divergent still here, but structurally, like I said, we did look like we were in a breakout. Going to give this another minute to close, because if you close down here on the 15-minute, then you've made a new low of day and you've broken the previous low, and the probability should be a little bit more to the downside. So we'll see. 1 minute. I need 16 more pips. Anytime, man. Happy to help, Michael. Now here on the 1 minute kind of breakdown. See how we hold here on the slower right hand portion of my screen. Are we gonna consolidate and then more momentum, or is it gonna hold? I like the extension that we're getting. It looks promising. We're definitely trying to break for a new low a day. I'm well into profit. On the hour, it looks like you're getting a little bit of continuation from that hour candle. It's definitely a new low a day. We can't deny that. Um, it is a little bit divergent, but structurally, this is a new low a day and it's still falling. Let's see how close I can. Oh, sorry if I punched the mic. Let's see how close I can get it to my target. I haven't put my stop into. I haven't locked my stop yet. I don't usually like to do that. Here we go. Driving. I need 12 pips. As we again on the 1 minute here, it looks like what it's trying to do is this push, consolidate, and then more push. So if in 8 seconds we can close lower, that's a great sign. Great sign. I like it. We're trying to come lower. I'm about 10 pips from my target. I definitely want to. Come on, we're getting close. If I can get within like 2 or 3 pips of my target, I'll probably pull it, because I'm not I'm emotional. And I don't want to see this thing just kind of come a little lower and peel off, and then I lose all this money. I'd be very upset. But I want to stay with the momentum. Definitely looks good on a daily. Yeah, on a daily, we were targeting that low, the 800, I believe. Yeah, maybe we come back and retest this low a day. Getting a little bit of correction now. I don't like that. Come on. See how it handles this low. Trying to decide how I want to play it. I like to see it hold the low as support, continue lower. I might lock my stop just because I was so close to my target, and now I'm getting a little bit of like rejection. Not necessarily, but like I can see where it's starting to like fizzle a little bit at the moment. I'll just see what happens as it pushes back down towards 50. Still divergent on the 15-minute. Just because I made it a new low. Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to lock my stop 162.741. So I'm locking my stop just because I don't want to take a L if this thing's not going to break lower here. Now, I don't want to pull the trade either. I don't want to take partials, but I want to make sure that so I'm locked in all the way up here at like 74 above this structure. So it should hold this structure on the 1 minute. So here's where I'm at. I'm in at 74.1. So I'm in here in this structure. So if it is going to come lower, it's not going to break above this. It's going to hold this structure and drive and create a new low. That's how it should play. So if it does come back up into here, then I'm probably wrong and I want to be out of it anyway. I want to see this structure hold as a lower low and then continuation. But I don't know. Again, my anxiety gets the best of me, so I'm keeping the trade open. We're in the direction. Stop is locked, so I can't lose. About 8. Oh, I was 8 pips from my target. It's starting to like peel off. Like I said, if I get within like 2 or 3 pips, I'm gonna pull it just because it's gonna be good money. I want to lock it. Now this thing could fall off another 100 pips, and I'd be like, oh, I should have held it. But you know, this is just how I trade. I feel like I took a really good entry, and I can make some good money on the day, and I don't want to be greedy. I just want to, make some money and keep it moving. But again, if it can hold this as a lower structure and move off it, then we're good. If it rejects, holds this trend line, rejects, and comes back up, I don't want it to come back into this zone. That would show me that something's wrong. I want it to move off of this level. And I don't want to close it here because then that's like I'd probably lose out on like over 200 bucks. I'm up like 400 bucks right now, which is great. It's a lot of money. It's more than I made for 9 hours last night at the restaurant. So it's like I'm sitting on my ass, you know, but I want to let the trade play out. I don't want to say that it's wrong, but it's just stalling here, in my opinion, consolidating at this level. And it moves so much. I don't know. It's still got ADR to go. I don't know, man. I really don't know what to do. Alex, what do I do? Because I don't want to lose the money. And it's rejecting here. It's not showing me what I want to see at the moment. And obviously there's still 7 minutes left in the candle, but like I've got what I made last night already. I want to see the trade through, but it's not. I don't like that. I don't like what that's doing at the moment. It's starting to break above this. It's starting to like show me like it's holding this structure and it might move higher. Like I'm still in this consolidation. I'm still at the low a day. Yeah, it's definitely at the zone. Yeah, my stop is locked. I can't lose, but I want to stay with it because we're at this low a day. So it should, if we're saying that it's break and retest, it should hold this level now. It shouldn't have come above like 60 something, like 61, 62. But I'm not in love with it. I don't know. Try and stay with it. Uh, up, it's a double-edged sword because if I pull the profits and then it goes, I'm gonna be pissed for not staying with it. But if I get stopped at break even, then I'm gonna be pissed. So it's like either way, I'm not gonna be happy, and that's just where I'm at. It's still holding this low a day. As long as it holds the low a day and looks like it's continuing lower, I'm gonna hold it. If it breaks above, then I'll probably just close it for a small profit. I guess that's just how it has to be. I have to be, uh, you know, methodical about it. I can't be emotional about it. I have to be practical about it. It shouldn't, I don't want it to break above this level. It shouldn't. If it's in a downtrend, it should hold this level and continue lower. If it doesn't, then potentially, the divergence is kicking in. But we're going to try and stay with it. I got 5 minutes left. Let's try and see it through. Yeah, breaks and retests. It's just something about, like I said, as long as it holds this low a day, but it just, I don't know. Maybe it's me. It's still falling. Clearly, it's still falling. But I don't like when it stalls like this. It gives me cause for concern because I'm just emotional. Like I have anxiety. It's just, so I'm trying to be non-emotional and just stick to the process of it. As long as it holds a low a day, then potentially you still have the potential to move lower. So if it fails to break through, then I just have to take the small profit. I won't hit my target. And that happens. Sometimes I'm not going to hit my target. I can't lose to trade, but again, I don't want to give up what I've got so far, so we're just going to try and stay with it. And what's that? No, yeah, I know everybody's reading. Keep grinding. Gotta keep it simple. Instead of two choices, pull profit. Thank you, bro. Couple bullish pins. Yeah. Don't forget, you can always pull profit and find another entry. Yeah, 100%, man. If this thing like breaks above this EMA, then I might just book it, because it seems like it's rejecting. Yeah. So I pulled it. I just don't like what I'm seeing. So I want to trade. It might be wrong because this might just hold and come back down, but I don't like what I'm seeing. I should maybe wait for the candle to close because you don't want to close mid-candle. What's that? Well, it's too late now. I already pulled out of the trade. I just don't like what I'm seeing. And again, I could be completely wrong, and this is just fall right down, and then I missed out on all the profits I should have had, but I just don't like what I'm seeing. It just feels like it's having trouble breaking these lows. And now you're getting this kind of bullish engulfing. I don't know. Trading is tough for me. I'm not gonna lie. Divergence on the bottom. It just trading is very difficult for me. And this was a little bit of a sketchy entry, so to speak. I don't know. And I could just be completely wrong, and this thing just falls off to hell. But it's tough. Trading is still very difficult for me when it comes to emotions. Yeah, I definitely see the divergence on the bottom. Just like off the 15-minute too, like the divergence, like, again, maybe I'm just completely wrong, and I pulled the trade for no reason, but just wasn't looking great. I could be wrong though, and maybe it was just fine because everything's still falling. So I probably should have just stayed in, because clearly everything is still falling. Even though it's having trouble, it's still falling. Everything's still falling. I almost need to do like a set it and forget it thing, because yeah, I'm blue for the day. I made like $200, but this trade would have been like 600 for the winner. It's more about the process too than the money. Like, I want to did I do right by my process? And I think I did, because like, I took a good entry and it broke out, but like now it's like kind of failing. But maybe this is just consolidation and it's going to come lower. But there's also the divergence on the 15-minute that we can see. So I'm kind of playing a risky game. Where this entry is a little bit risky. So, in that case, I think I need to be a little bit more conservative. At least is how I feel. Like if I had an entry up in here, back at like 8 o'clock in the morning, that seems like more potential. But like it kind of hit a low, came down, made a new low a day, but kind of barely. It just seems like it's not as clean. Who knows? Maybe I'm completely wrong. And it just holds and tanks off, and that's, I don't know. Yeah. Well, you guys are seeing it live, man. This is literally my process, like every day, like before I was streaming, just like, you know, getting into trade and dealing with my emotions and stuff. And here comes what looks like a nice candle, potentially at a 1 minute off of this structure, maybe lower. So maybe I goofed. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe I got overly emotional. Um, but there's a lot of factors at play in my mind, and you know, trying to get better every single day. You guys just happen to see it live. Yeah, this is a good candle. This is a really good candle right here on this 1 minute. That looks pretty good. Not quite through, just kind of striking the low, but I don't know. Just the way I was seeing this just didn't really look ideal to me. But this is strong. It's not quite through, but it has potential. Eh. Nah, I wouldn't re-entry because I don't want to be in down at the low, so to speak. Like I liked where I got in on this 5 minute here. Like this was nice. I liked this. It came through this trend line. It was under everything, and that's why you see we got this momentum. And now we're stalling. So maybe it just stalls and then comes lower because the trend is lower, but it just didn't feel right to me. And I think that's why I was being a little bit um kind of in my head about it. Because when it's clean, it's clean. You know it. I'm like, yeah, this is clean. This thing's moving. But maybe it's market experience. It just didn't seem right. And that's why I was like, you know what? Maybe I could have got out lower. Maybe I could have waited and got out here. Maybe I should still be in it. I don't know. I can't call it. AU is still falling. Kind of consolidated down. Now it's falling. If AU starts falling, you might see EA come up potentially. Not necessarily, but potentially just because they're somewhat correlated. It's obviously a difference between euro and AUD and the dollar pairs. Let's see what else is happening around the market today. Did a lot of chop, and that's what I was afraid of too. Was like just a lot of consolidation and getting chopped out of the trade. 'Cause it seems like a fair amount of pairs are just consolidating. Pound dollar might be trying to do a reset on the 5 minute down to this 800. As you can see right here, comes down and that's like kind of driving with this candle right here. Might see more continuation down as like a little, as everything's just kind of resetting itself. AU kind of coming down. Yeah, see EA right there. See, I don't know what it is. I just was like, this doesn't feel right to me, and you can see here it is, starting to move off it. I probably would have got tapped out on this, and I would have made no money. So at least I made 200 out of it. Just didn't feel right, and I don't know what that is. Is that market experience? Is that, I don't know, but I'm like, this doesn't feel right. And like I said, right here on this pin, this definitely would have like popped me out because my stop was at 74. With the spread, I would have made nothing. So at least I made something. And now potentially this might even come higher. Who knows? So it didn't quite get to 2R for me. I was about 8 pips away. I was up a little over 400. Um, Pulled 200, and now it's doing kind of what I felt in my gut that it was doing. And I really try and listen to that voice in my head. It was saying like, "Hey man, this doesn't look right for continuation." And as you can see now, we're getting this push off. I definitely would have been stopped in profit. Thanks, pockets. Um, it's just a feeling. And I really try and listen to that voice in my head. It's never wrong. And it was telling me something's not right. And that's why I started getting emotional because I'm in this trade and it doesn't seem right. And my body's telling me, not because of like something wrong that, like I'm just like being emotional. It's like, no, because you know what you're looking at and this you don't want to see it look like this. So, you know, we'll take it. And you can see the divergence here too on the 5 minute as it makes a lower low structurally, but it doesn't. Well, that's weakness. That's about as much as I could get out of it. Like I said, if I was a little bit better, maybe I could have got the extra 200 out of it. Um, I tried to hold the trade as long as I could, but once it started showing me that it was wrong and I was feeling wrong, I was like, I got it. I got to get out. I don't want to make nothing on this. I want to try and make something. So this definitely would have stopped me out. And this is coming. If I had risked the whole 2%, I would have been getting close to getting stopped out with my stop at 90. So I feel like I traded it well. Thanks, Michael. Um, yeah, we took kind of a dicey trade. We got some good momentum on it. Couldn't quite get to 2R. Feel like I had a great entry. Took no drawdown. No drawdown. I was instant profit. I think I was negative for like 2 seconds. Kind of in here maybe when it was like kind of or wherever it was. I was slightly negative and it went right back into positive. So it was great execution, great breakout candle. I did everything right. I really feel like I traded that well. The only thing maybe I could have got out a little lower if I was going to get out, maybe when this candle, wait for the candle to close when this drove down, maybe got out. But coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Coulda, shoulda, wouldas. Um, that's probably going to be my day for the day. I'm going to stay on and keep watching, but that's probably going to be where my day ends today. About uh up about what would that be? If I risk 2% and I made a third of 2%, so what's that like 0.66% something? I don't know. I have to do the math on it. EU just falling hard. Now see, look, this is exactly what I was saying to you guys. Sorry, I had it blown up. On this ascending channel. Breaks the channel, comes back and retests the channel. Now, it's not always going to be exact, but that's pretty darn close, if you ask me. Throws this bullish engulfing pattern and now starts moving off it. So it's break, retest, no matter what it is. If it's an indice like the DXY, if it's a currency, you think this could be a possible retest and break lower maybe on EA? It could be because it's still kind of testing this area here. Um, like it broke out, but I just didn't like all the divergence. And every other pair feels like it's kind of in like a chop. And it had this huge move yesterday, and that doesn't mean anything. It could still move again today. You know what I mean? But it just, I don't know. It just didn't seem right to me. It didn't seem like it was going to give me any more. So I don't know that it doesn't come back in this area and then find some more sellers to take it lower. It just feels like everything's kind of stalling right now to me. Now, like you said, everything's still, maybe it's coming back to kind of retest this 1 minute breakout. You can see where I said this might be the igniter, and then a couple minutes later, it took the 5 minute. Um, Everything still says sell on this, just the divergence. So comes back, it's retesting this entry here that I got in on, retesting it, trying to come up, doesn't. Little divergence. So you have this low here. This low here is lower, but it's higher, so it's a little weak. Don't know. That's why I got out, because I wasn't feeling it that much. So I really don't know, to tell you the truth, CD. I don't know. I don't want to say, yeah, this can hold and come lower, and be wrong. I'm just not sure. It is a selling market, so to speak, as you look on the higher time frames and even on the daily. But as we got on the daily, where did we get to? We got to the bottom of this candle, and it's starting to pull off it for now. It could still keep falling because it does seem like it's got the momentum to the downside. Oh, punching the mic, sorry. I'm not sure. You want to stay with the trend, and that's why I took it short. But yeah, I would have got bopped. It, and this probably would have held, like this pin back, because I was up at like 90. So I don't think that would have got me. But it definitely, once I moved it to break even, it would have got me. And I'd be back in a little bit of profit here. So maybe I was a little too aggressive with moving my stop, to break even. Maybe I should let the trade play out. I really don't know. But I could see that in this area it wasn't really looking great. Let's see. Yeah, I definitely when it got stopped out. It only got to like 82. So even with the spread of like 87, I still would have been good. And as you can see right now it's at like 59. It's starting to pull back down. See how it handles the lows. Yeah, you can see it on the 15-minute. Really strong rejection on the 15-minute. Look at this. Bang. Huge. Tries to buy up. Seller's just pushing it right back down off of this level. So like we said, it's still in a downtrend. And maybe I just didn't play the trade properly, but you could just be coming back to retest this on a 1 minute here. Could just be testing this level. Maybe breaks, test this as support and moves higher. Maybe drives through. This is definitely a significant area. You're right at the previous low a day, finding potentially support. We'll see. Again, it is still in a downtrend, so you don't want to go away from the downtrend. Just felt like it was fizzling though. Divergence is all over the place. I don't want to ignore that divergence, you know? Now, had I been awake here, and this was my trading session, maybe I could have found something within this candle here. But, this is my trading session, so I'm trying to make the most of what I got in here. You can see on a 5 minute, you're divergent. Nice little candle to kind of get momentum, but this trend line's still rising. So while everything's still falling, it's still kind of dicey here. So it's 50-50 to me. This is a 50-50 trade right now, honestly. It could go either way. I want to stay with the momentum to the downside, but it's 50-50 to me right now. And I don't want to be in a 50-50 trade because I could get bopped out of it too easily. Let's see if any news is coming out of this testify. Yeah, a little mid. Retail sales figures. That could have been what drove that a little bit of momentum that we saw. Clearly coming higher on a dollar index, just making higher highs. Strength. See. Higher high comes back, breaks the highs, come back, new high, come back, try and make another high, fill the wick maybe. EU is going to continue to push down as that happens. Potentially the same with EU. Here's an interesting formation. Comes up, consolidates, breaks the zone. If the dollar index is going up, does this continue to the downside off of that breakout candle? Fill this wick, come back and retest these lows? I don't know. The market's kind of funny today. I think I'm happy to have gotten what I got. That's how I feel about it. GJ, yeah, as we were saying, it failed at this top to make new highs. So it just comes back and it's just kind of finding consolidation. It's just choppy. Now if you're keen and you're looking up in here and you're finding, potential structural breaks, uh, if you're looking at that weakness and then you're starting to see divergence and then you see like, you're breaking structure, then maybe you can get a sell in there if that's the way you like to trade. But I like to trade with the trend, and this was the best, and we all were really in agreement that this was the best trade. But just like I was saying, it just did exactly what I had boxed out. Finding support. So I feel like I did well today. It would have been nice to grab that extra 200 when it was down at the bottom and make this a $300-400 day. But I think to even come away with the 200 without getting hit at break even, or in this instance, potentially getting stopped for the full 2%. I'm a money manager. We're all capital managers once we enter the trade. The thing that we're trying to do is preserve capital. Did I get my 2R? No. Did I get a little bit? Yes. Is that better than break even or losing? 100%. So I preserved capital. I added a little bit to my account, and I'll just come back tomorrow and try and do it again. It wasn't the day I was looking for like yesterday was. Yesterday was the move. But we just try and continually take probable setups with good reasons behind it. And once we're in a trade, we're capital managers. Manage your capital. Don't lose it, And I think I did that well today. So I got to give myself, I give myself an A for today. I probably sounded emotional. And I know I sounded emotional, but I think it was for a valid reason. I think it's because I was feeling something was incorrect. When it's right, I'm like, yo, we're going, I sit comfortably, but when it gets kind of 50-50 like this, I start being like, no, 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 I don't think so, So I think it's just market experience. And as you can see, driving off it, I've been getting stopped out. I got stopped at break even, and now I've been getting stopped out. Potentially going for a full reset as we reach these highs. That would have took me out right there at negative 2%. Good day. Good reading. I feel like I'm really sharp lately with how I see this market. Now, if you're a counter trend trader, but we also said this, we're not really convinced on what the trend is yet on EA. Like, yeah, we liked it to come lower overall, but it's still kind of indecisive at the moment off of this, divergence here. Is the trend up and this is just a correction, or is the trend down? It's very choppy. But I think that we really liked the way it looked on the 4-hour, and we liked the way it looked on the hour. We felt the momentum was to the downside. We got a little bit, and now it's just kind of pulling itself back. off these divergences. So that's it. That's kind of where I'm at on this session. I definitely won't be taking another position. This market is just kind of ugly. Yeah, it's just definitely would have been stopped out on this. It's, yep, right there. I would have just got stopped right now. As I look at my MetaTrader, I would have just got stopped out for 2% loss. And it's got the gas dollar index. You can see breaks, retests, breaks, retests. Broke our ascending channel here. Retested it through a bullish engulfing, regardless of if you trade EMAs or not. Look at the structure of it. You make your own structure. Don't worry about this 800. Look at price action. Look at the TDI. It's got momentum to the upside. You don't want to ignore that. And here comes, all these dollar pairs just plummeting as the dollar index rises. And as AU comes lower, then there's some correlation between these AUDs, obviously. And now you see this coming higher. So I think we did a really good job today. Do you always have those same markets in your watch list, or do you change them? No, these are just the only 5 pairs that I trade. AU, EU, EU. Let me try that again. AU, EA, EU, GJ, GU. And I watch the dollar index because I have 3 USD pairs. Get the strength on EA, just totally pulling back, man. I found that keeping a small watch list like this, I'm aware of what these trades are doing on a daily and weekly basis because it's all I look at. I know that, for, all last week or, whatever, like these pairs have been rising. I know it's correcting now. So I feel more in tune with the pairs. I get a better feeling and understanding of how they're moving, and I'm more in tune with them. And it keeps me from having to look every day at this and try and pick out pairs that I might have not looked at, Euro JPY in a week. And now I'm looking at it and trying to figure out what it's doing on the fly, day of. That doesn't make sense to me. And I didn't like having to try and do that. For me, it didn't fit personally. So what I did was I did a Google search. I knew right off the bat that EU is the #1 traded Forex pair. I knew that. I think probably most people know that. And I just started looking at what are other really good pairs. The bigger ADR pairs like a GJ and an EA are the lowest on my spread for Owanda. GN, GA, they're like 5 pips for me. Like, I don't even have it on my MetaTrader to show you. I deleted them all off because I don't trade them, but they're legit like 4, 8, and 5 pips. But GJ is like, 2, 8, 2, 5, 3. EA is like 3. I can instantly, get over that. But like 5 pips, I mean, that can be a lot. And then you have to look at it as well. Like if I'm in a selling position, now I got to add 5 pips to the top of it. Because if I'm trying to take the top of this structure, I can't put it right at 13. Because if it hits there, if it hits 8, then I'm bopped out with that 5 pip spread. So now I got to put even more on it. So I want to keep the spreads low. Now I could pay for commissions and get lower spreads, but I just take low spread pairs. Look at EA. Unbelievable. Complete reset on the 1 minute. Wow. I mean, we did a great job today reading this. Really did. Yeah, performance has been really good. These pairs have been I've been on these pairs for like the last 7 weeks. Every week there's money to be made on these 5 pairs. And that just gives me more, you know, confidence that, like, yeah, I only need 5 pairs. And the whole thing was just to strip my trading. Just strip it down, 1 session, 2.5 hours, 5 pairs, make my trading as simple as possible. Look at this. This got to be news. It's got to be. 11 minutes ago. Retail sales figures are evidence that demand is being supported. So yeah, this guy talking is testifying is really, look at this. I don't yeah, look at this. Unbelievable. Crazy, man. You took their profits? Great job, CD. Awesome, man. Yeah, pal's talking 100%. Yeah, that's what this is. So I think we did a great job. I think we did a really great job. And if you were a reversal trader, here's your signal on the 5 minute on EA. Came down, made a lower low, but it's divergent, consolidated, bullish engulfing. Entry here, stop here. You're going for like a, you know, 1 minute reset to the 800. And then exactly like we said on the 1 minute here, it kind of made this low and then retested this structure here. Not to come lower, to come higher. Here's an entry candle right here. Maybe this, I don't like that. Show me more. Bang, how about this one? Take that, stop here, full reset to the 800. Now I didn't want to trade this counter. And if I was more of an aggressive trader and I was willing to take it both ways, if I didn't take this one with a stop at the bottom, I'll take this one. Shows me that, because this one doesn't tell you that it's not coming lower. This one does. This one tells you that I found support and made a higher low on structure, and now I'm breaking that structure. So then you put your stop something like this. Your entry, would be something like that, like this. So you're taking, 13 pips. You're going for 26. Look at that. How's that for money? 5.38R. My target is always a full reset. If, but 2R's right here. So that's how you take a counter. You don't take the first breakout. You look for structure. You're making an even low. Now you make a higher high and a higher low, and now you push off this structure. Look at the TDI with the trend line supporting it, rising up, showing you that sentiment is starting to change. That's how you get in for a reversal. But I don't like to trade it both ways like that. But if I was, here's a 11% winner. You know what I mean? It's everywhere. It's everywhere. You can make money everywhere. I just try to consistently do the same things over and over and over again. I talked a lot today. I was definitely a little bit all over the place today, but I think not really, because I think I was spot on. So I'm sure you guys are probably tired of listening to me. So I'm going to cut this stream 15 minutes short and move on with my day, because obviously there's nothing happening. Winner, winner. I'm going to post my winner on my Instagram. I'm sure most of you guys follow me, Nest.fx. So I'll post my results there and kind of like a little quick recap. But again, I love doing this every day. I love that you guys are in here with me. I love that, you guys are really getting value out of this, and I hope that it's making your trading better and helping to show you how we can just simply use market structure, keep everything simple, and really find ourselves in some probable entries. I feel like every day since the last 7 trading sessions from last Monday to today, I feel like we've been pointing out some really good probable entries. Now, we may not have taken them all, but they're all right there. So there's money to be made every single day. So if you're down a little bit today, if you're up a little bit today, if you're flat today, just remember, I'm coming back tomorrow at 8:30. We're going to do it again. We're going to try and find some more trades. And again, just thank you all so much. Great job today. Thank me. I appreciate it. I appreciate you guys more than you know. I'll catch you on the flip side. Have yourselves a great day. Enjoy it. And don't give back any money. This market's kind of funky. All right. Peace out, guys. Have a good one.